Welcome back to Wish You Love Podcast. I'm Jazmine.
And I'm Marilyn.
And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode today. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wish You Love Pod.
Yes, and if you are listening to us on Apple or Spotify, you can also watch us on YouTube. So go check out our YouTube channel and subscribe if you'd like.
Yeah, that way you can see our fits and the little lights in the back.
And the little sparkly lights, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch or listen to a lot of podcasts?
Not watch, but listen.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do you watch it on YouTube or do you listen? I just listen to.
Yeah.
I would like to watch, but I tend to listen to podcasts when I'm like driving or cleaning.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I think I just kind of click them while I'm driving. And plus, I mean, I don't really watch TV as it is anyway, so it's just like there's no reason for me to. But I think I should be open to watching it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day just being like, what do I do? I'm gonna be like, watch a podcast.
Yeah, there are certain podcasts where like you kind of have to watch it because they'll like show things on the screen. I've noticed, but yeah, I tend to be pretty on the go, so I don't. But comment down below if you are a YouTube listener of ours, Spotify or Apple. We'd love to know.
Yeah.
So we are going to do some life updates for you guys. So the last time we talked, oh my goodness, it was in the beginning of like August time period. So now that we're into September and pumpkin spice is back.
Yes, it's official, everyone. Pumpkin spice is here.
It's here.
I think we mentioned this in one of the episodes. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
This right here. Marilyn Jazmine. Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the root of our heart. Like, I'm serious. I know they make jokes like of girls who love pumpkin spice, like, but it's just so good and it's only a certain time of year.
It is.
So I got my pumpkin spice. I get the pumpkin spice chai light iced latte with soy milk. That's what I get. But for on the regular days, I've been using like the Silk Creamer pumpkin spice, and it's been really, really yummy. How many pumpkin spice drinks have you had so far?
Only one.
Only one, yeah. I want to get another one.
Yeah, it's so sad. I've only had one so far, but more so because I'm just watching like the sugar part of it. Yeah. But I know you had posted on your Instagram, and if you guys follow Marilyn, maybe you guys saw it of that creamer. So I'm like, maybe it'll be better if I like make it at home versus going to Starbucks and spending the money and drinking the sugar that way.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, my thing is convenience, because if I can get like, you know, already made coffee every single day, I would, but I just need to like make my coffee in my Keurig and just put the creamer. That's just like the fastest thing for me because I only got an hour to get ready and leave to campus. So it's just really convenience for me, but I wish I could have more of our favorite coffee place that we love. And then obviously all the generic big brand coffee shops, but I love them. I was telling myself, I'm like, I need to get one at least once a week. But even then it's been like busy.
Yeah. I will say this though, when the pumpkin spice first dropped, I did
the first day.
Drive over.
I
went to go grab one. I said, I don't care about anything. I'm going to get one.
I just happened to go that day. I wasn't planning on going, but I was going to church that day.
Oh, I had texted you, remember?
Yeah. You're like, just in case you go, post it on the story. But I had ordered a tall, and they were so nice. They gave me a venti. So I never order ventis because I could drink it. But, you know, it's a lot of calories. But I was just so happy. I was like, wow. Like, I ordered a tall, and they gave me a venti. So they were really nice. It was my fault, though, because I accidentally put the wrong location. And they were just nice enough. Like, no, it's okay. Like, we'll just make it for you here. It was really nice. Yeah. Yeah, but
that's good. But okay, Marilyn, give us your life update.
Okay.
We jumped into pumpkin spice because we got excited.
I know. It's September. It's fall season officially. So, well, speaking of fall, it's a fall semester. And as you know, I am a professor. So I work at so this life update will definitely be following around work, primarily because my life is just work right now. And I'm trying to find that balance of life and work. I'm seeing that, I'm like, oh gosh, I pretty much have a full-time job now. I have 4 jobs. So remember how I told you that I got hired at that really, really far away school? And I was like, watch what you say. Like, you're going to speak things into existence. Well, I still believe that's true. And we'll talk about that. But I actually let go of that position because of just, I don't really want to get into it, but unforeseen circumstances. But that school, the reason why I wanted to work so badly with that school that was like 2 hours away, literally, it was so far away, was for the possibility to work at one of my alma mater schools. And Jazmine actually helped me get hired at that dream alma mater school. It's so crazy. And so that is pretty much my life update of just being a professor and like jumping from school to school to school to school to school to school to school, teaching all day long. My throat is hoarse. Like my throat is just so dry. It doesn't hurt like a sore throat, but it's just like being overused because I'm talking so much. But that happened last semester too. I think after the first month, I get used to it. But pretty much I did want to tell the story of Jazmine helping me get this job. So I don't know if you want to say the beginning. Did the other professor tell you that they were looking for professors? Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that like setup part, and then I'll say when you call me.
All right, friends, story time.
Story time.
So first of all, I want to say this because I was telling Marilyn this, and I want to just share this with you guys. I had gotten into Joel Osteen, right? You guys know, if you know, you know. Marilyn always talks and raves about Joel Osteen. I decided to listen to one episode. The way I get into podcasts is I pick a random episode that the title speaks to me, and that's what I get in. That's what I click, not the latest episode or not the first one, just whatever speaks to me. And then if I like it, then that's when I start trying like different episodes from there. Anyways, so one of the episodes' titles was Lifting Others Up. To sum it up, it was basically an episode where he explains how important it is to lift those around you up. If there are opportunities that are there for people, or if there's like a way that you can help, do it. Because in the end, like that's what being, not to get like religious or anything, but that's what being brothers and sisters, right? Like we want to like be there for each other and provide help wherever needed and love and kindness and etc. That being said, I was working with my coworker and she mentioned to me that her boyfriend was an ESL, is that correct? An ESL professor at one of the same schools that Marilyn teaches. So I, of course, was like, oh my gosh, like what a small world. Like one of my best friends works at that location too and does the same thing. I wonder if they know each other. It turns out they didn't know each other. But I was like, oh, like cool. Left it at that. I always talk about my friends with my other, with colleagues or with family and stuff. So people are aware, like, who my friends are, what they do, type of thing. So then I get a text during work and it's my coworker. And she says, hey, like, what is your friend's name again? And I say, oh, it's Marilyn Paiva. And then she messages me back saying, would she be interested in working in blank school? As soon as as soon as I read that message, I literally, I was next to Angel and I was like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. I started even doing a Marilyn fun fact. She does this cute little arf, which is like a bark, like her excitement. And so naturally I do it now because I hang out with her. So I'm like, arf, arf, arf. Like I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And Angel is like, what is going on? Like what the heck? And I'm like, show him the phone. And then I'm like, do you not see this? Like this is a possibility of my friend working in her dream school. And immediately I called Marilyn and was like, oh my gosh, FaceTiming her. This bitch didn't answer me at first because she was asleep. Yeah, remember? I don't know. Yeah. And then I finally called her again. She finally answered. I think I woke you up.
I don't.
You were asleep.
I was like late.
Or closing your eyes. Yeah.
I forgot.
So she, answers the phone and I tell her then, I was like, hey, like, remember this? And she just sent me this. Like, can I say yes? Like, do you want it? And it was so funny because you were still like in meditation, I think, because you weren't like, you were very calm. You were like, yeah, like, sure, and whatnot. And yeah, I end up giving my friend all of Marilyn's like information so that she can then pass it on to her boyfriend, because her boyfriend is the one who works. He is a professor at the school that Marilyn already works in, plus the other. Yes, plus her dream school. He's a professor there. And I guess it was truly a phone of a friend of a friend of a friend. It was just like telephone here. Like the boyfriend told his girlfriend to tell me, to tell Marilyn, and then like go back and connect them together. Oh my gosh. And then I'll let you finish the story.
Oh my goodness, yes. And so after that, I got an email and it was literally him recommending me for the position. And then in that previous email, it was saying how they did need instructors, right, for exactly what I do. And it's crazy because the only times I could teach were those times that I had to let go. And those were the times that they needed. So it was just God's timing. Like, it was crazy. And so I, introduced myself after the recommendation, and I did like kind of a gratitude. And also, I'm also an alma mater at that school because he's also an alma mater of our university. And so, just introducing myself and giving them my time slots and availability. And so one thing led to another. And then after, they're like, welcome to, and they said the college. And after that, because that was probably maybe an hour after Jazmine had called me, after that, I was out of meditative mode. I screamed and I was jumping up and down like a little kid. I was crying. I was calling everybody I knew because that was, to me, like such a God moment. And I just want to say, like, also just shows like and we're going to talk about this in your, we're going to talk, the message of today's episode is like about the people in your life. And I'm just so grateful that God placed you in my life, because without you, this opportunity wouldn't have happened. So, oh my gosh, just amazing. But I just wanted to talk about like the craziness of like God's good graces of just like his work in my life, because, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to cry, but I was crying when I was talking about it I was like posting on I have like a small Instagram just of my close friends. And I was pretty much saying like how I thought that it was crazy how only a month out, not even a month, like I graduated with my master's in December, and in January I had an interview. In February I started as an instructor. I got 2 classes, not one. That was crazy to me. I was like, wow, like I remember crying when I got that job. And then this other school that I also work at that school, I applied. So the first school, I applied, I interviewed, I got it. The second school, I applied, I didn't interview, and I got it. The dean called me and offered me the position, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, it can only be God. Like, and I felt like God was like, oh, you think that that's as far as I can go? You think that I could just get you the job? Let me do you one better. You don't even have to apply, and you don't have to interview. And guess what? You don't even have to try, because it happened within 1 hour, and I'll get you the position, not of just a school 2 hours away, not just a school that you never even really cared about that was maybe on your list. No, it's called the school of your dreams, the one that's so close to you that you went to school. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is not happening right now. And so I started crying, also thinking of myself, of how I'm going to walk onto the campus as a professor, and just thinking of me, like as a student, thinking I was so stupid and what am I doing here? And I was just like, I just felt like I had no space here. I had no right to take up space here. And God was like, no, you take up a classroom here. Not just a space, not just a seat. You have a class. Do that. Do my work through them. And so I was like, and it's crazy because literally that week, so this was the first week of school this happened, I was talking to God and I was telling him that I commit all my work to you. Everything that I do, I give it to you. And it's crazy because there is this scripture that says, commit your works to the Lord and all your plans shall prosper. And I just really feel like it was just such a full circle moment of going to school there, now teaching there, of just having faith over fear, like we've been talking about. And so as of right now, I have no plans of like trying to get full time because I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got me. I don't need to worry. It's going to come when it's supposed to come. I was so worried about like, oh my gosh, when will I get full time? When will I get, that position? I'm like, nah. Clearly, the positions are coming to me now. And it was just such an amazing message for me in my life because I'm going to carry it obviously in everything that I do. But yeah, it was a crazy day. I was very happy. I wasn't the best professor that day, I will say though, because it was such a high that by the time I was teaching, I was like exhausted. My eyes were puffy. But regardless, it was a really, really good day. Thank you, Jazmine. Like, oh my, they don't even know, like those people emailing don't even know like how they made like my month, my year. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm so happy for you, Marilyn, and I think it's very well deserved, and I think it's so beautiful that I was able to be a part of something so special and something that you've been wanting so much.
And like we've been saying, like we said on FaceTime, I was like, you're not even part of higher education. Yeah. You're not even in the field. Like that shows like her message, because we both have different messages, right?
Yeah.
From this experience of just like that message that you heard, like, hey, connect these two people because like you're helping them getting in contact of like, we talked about it in the Pushing People Up episode. And it's just so true. Like, wow.
Yep.
It's such a small world. Thank you though. Thank you for that opportunity because you really opened the gate. You brought me to the crossroads. It was a great.
It was a team thing though. If you really think about it, like
your friend's boyfriend.
Yes, I did it, but it was my friend's boyfriend who had the, I always say like when you give recommendations out to people, it shouldn't be given easily.
Yeah, but that just shows your character though, because like the fact that he trusts you. I could be a horrible professor. He doesn't know. I'm not though, just in case you're listening. But no, but that just shows your character like, oh, if Jazmine recommends her, then I recommend her.
Right.
Type of thing.
But it was him also lifting you up here,
yeah.
Right? In the sense
he didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to. He could have been like, oh, we need professors.
I don't know any.
Yeah. No. Like try to figure it out. Same thing, like could have told my coworker, and my coworker could have been like, nah, like, I don't know.
Like, I have didn't even think to tell him. Yeah.
But it was truly just such a, like, yes, a God moment. And such a, like, let's all lift each other up. And, like, even when I told my coworker, like, oh my God, like, she got it. She was like, oh my God, like, no way. Like, so happy for her. So what a beautiful blessing. And definitely I love that that's your highlight of or recap of the month. Because that is like the biggest thing.
Oh, yeah. So it's just like, that's why I said it's all about work for my recap. And my recap took a long time. I'm so sorry. But yeah. What about you though, Jazmine? What's new with you?
All good. Before we jump into mine, friends, for those of you watching or even listening, feel free to head on over to our Instagram and share some love to Marilyn.
Aww.
So let's celebrate her this win. Just, give her the love because this is super special for her. It's the moment she's wanted not her whole life, but like
ever since I found out I
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I'll show her on my vision board in the front of my room. I wrote this when I was a student and I put full-time tenured professor. And the first college I put was that college. Yeah. And the second one was the one that I got hired at first. And then, yeah, I just so crazy. The power of, we talked about that in one of the other episodes, the power of your words of like, what are you speaking on? Like, what are you talking about? What is your heart desiring? Like, that will come to you if you keep talking about it, if you keep marinating on it, keep working towards it. It's gonna come. And you know what? That lesson, like, it's so crazy because the fact that I know that, I should be delving into more of my passions because, like, I see it working in the academia field. And so I'm like, I should put that more towards my passions. That's a whole nother conversation though. But yeah, but it's a good message and it's so true. Yeah. Very true. But what about you? What's going on with you?
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, if you're watching, you're going to see me pull out my planner because I live on such a go, go, go world that this is the best way for me to kind of recap and do reflection of where I'm at. So, recap of my month. Lots of traveling, my friends. Lots of traveling. I was able to experience Seattle. So, I went to Seattle for 4 days. Literally got back on a Sunday. I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I went to Arizona. So lots of traveling that happened. Really grateful for that and those experiences and those moments and memories. Gosh, what else? I'm not sure if I shared this already, but I am working an additional job to my corporate job. So I guess this month would be the first, or the previous month, since we're recapping, would be the first month that I like fully worked. So I started working at a cycle bar place. So it's like a cycling class. There's instructors, people come. It's been super fun. It's been interesting. I work just on the weekends. I work for like 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes I get a workout in while I'm working because we're able to jump into classes while just as long as people are checked in, I'm able to then just jump in if I want to. But yeah, I think the one thing I do want to highlight from this month is specifically my trip to Seattle. So my parents love to do family vacations. Like that's just like their thing. And by family, I mean my parents and me. And like Angel, if he tags along. My brother sometimes joins, but he kind of is in his own world. So it's kind of like up to him if he wants to and, is financially able to and whatnot. Yeah. But as of now, we try. My mom really, really always asks, like, please just give me like one weekend or one, trip a year. So we decided to go to Seattle. At that point, it was going to, or when we got the tickets, it was supposed to be myself, my parents, and Angel. It was supposed to be beautiful, us four going. Angel, unfortunately, was not able to go due to, some family things that were going on. His grandpa had passed, and it was happened to be the weekend of his grandpa's like memorial and like funeral and whatnot. So he took the decision that I'm really glad he did to skip out and just attend his grandpa's memorial. And so therefore it was just me and my parents. And I was like, how is this going to go? Like, I love my parents, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not like I can go to bars with them. It's not like they stay out too late. They get tired, they're a little older. So I was like, I wonder how this is going to go. And the night before I left on that trip, Angel really told me, really take this as the last trip before you're married, right? Like take this as like the last opportunity to be with your parents, spend time with them like as, their baby, their daughter before you then have like, you move out, you have
your own daughter.
like my husband and everything. And and he said that it really turned the page or my lenses. It really flipped my switch and how I was approaching it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I get to spend time with my parents. Like, what a blessing. Like, I get to do that. And it really was. It was a really, really nice trip. We got to all explore together. I got to spend time with my parents. It also made me feel I was so appreciative because it was kind of like that episode we talked about, like they're slowing down, they are slowing down. I'm excited to enter this new chapter of marriage and being a wife and being a mom. And like they are now turning in this chapter where their bodies are just slowing down. And it's harder for them to, do something easy as like, I know, like when we were there, I would say like, oh, Chipotle is just around the corner. Like we can go. But the way Seattle is, I don't know if those of you who have gone, you probably know. And if you haven't, I didn't know that it's kind of like San Francisco. It's like hills. So a 10-minute around the corner can be like going uphill and like turning, it's like very steep and stuff. And so kind of just seeing my parents like power through, but they were tired. Like it was really like hard for their bodies and like for them to do that. And yeah, it made me just realize like, wow, like I'm glad we were able to do this together before, I don't know, they're really not able to do those steep hills anymore, to do none of that. But yeah, that trip was just really, really special. It was really fun. We got to talk about like my upcoming wedding, my like what my future is going to look like. We were able to talk about just our relationship. And so I feel like it really did kind of bring us closer, and it really did give us more quality time. And I love Angel, but I think if he would have gone, he's right, it would have been a little bit different. It would have been more like I'm with him and I'm like taking photos with him and like I'm just with him. And this gave me the opportunity to just sit down at dinner and just talk to them and like, you know, walk with them and go on these adventures with them. So it was really special. So that was definitely a huge highlight and recap of my month. And yeah, just thank you to God for giving me the opportunity to do that and to just travel in general. Even going to Arizona the next week, I was like, oh my gosh, like 2 states in 2 weeks. Like that's awesome. Like I feel so blessed. But yeah, that's my recap.
I love that. And it's funny because as you were telling the story, I think I was listening to you in a different perspective as a daughter, not as a friend, because I see you as a friend, obviously. And you know, you really are the dream daughter. Like you are just so kind and you're so sweet. And I love that you were able to reflect, not many people can, and reflect and realize like where you are at and in your parents' life, like in their timeline of life. And I think that's just something that many people don't realize till it's too late. And it's beautiful that you had such a wonderful, short but sweet trip with your parents. And especially in Seattle, it's so beautiful there. And I'm just glad that you did that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really special, for sure.
Yeah, that's good. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into the message of the episode. So this message was actually given to me by my boyfriend's mom. And so remember, we call her Soul. I've mentioned her, I think, in 2 other episodes. But she said, you love them, but do you like them? And when she first said that, I didn't really understand what she was saying by that. But I understand now. So there are many people in your life that you love, but you actually don't like them as a person. And to recognize your relationships and how you feel around those people. Like, for instance, like I'll just use a Theo or Thea as an example. You love your Theo and your Thea, but do you like them as a person? Do you like how they treat you, how they treat others, their morals, how they are with their kids, how they act in the world? Are they responsible? Do they align with you? So do you know, and after you're married for so long, you might just love the person, but you might not like the person. And I was just starting to think of like different people in my life, like that is so true. Like our relationships are conditional. Like I love you because I was told to love you. But if you weren't so-and-so to me, would I actually like you? Would I actually have you in my life? Would I actually voluntarily be around you? And so I started thinking of even friends, because sometimes you're just friends with somebody for so long that you're like, oh, I've known them my whole life. But do you actually like the person that you're hanging out with? Because remember, like we always say, the people around you, whether it be family or friends or just acquaintances, they affect you as a person. They affect how you think. They affect how you act. And so it's important to be QPO, quality people only, as Les Brown says. And so it just started making me think of, like, for instance, Anthony, my boyfriend. Obviously, I love him, but I was trying to think, do I like him? The answer is yes. But like I started thinking, like, do I like how he is as a man, like as a person? Yes. Okay. I started thinking my best friend, I've known her for so long. And I'm like, do I love her, but do I like her? Yeah, I like how she treats others. I like how she thinks. I like how she reevaluates her life. The same with Jazmine, just like I was saying, I like how she's very reflective. I like how she's very kind. She's hardworking. You hear she got 2 jobs. I like that. Some people don't like that, right? They don't like people that like, oh, you always talk about deep shit. Like, come on, let's just gossip, you know? So I just had me thinking, and I posed this question to you as well, the listener. You love them, but do you like them? And so I thought of, there are certain people in my life that I love them, but I actually don't like them at all. Like, if you weren't so-and-so, I would not have you in my life. And so for that reason, I think I have been just distancing myself from certain people just because I'm like, my time is just so valuable. Not even that, like, one day I'm going to die, like I've talked about in like the 2 episodes ago, but even in that, I'm busy. Like, if I got a Saturday, I want to hang out with Jazmine. Like, I don't want to be hanging out with somebody and I'm just like sitting there, like at the table, like, I'm sorry, I got things to do. I got people to see, like QPO, quality people only. And so now every time I'm around someone, I'm like, do I like you? Probably not. If I have to even think like that. Because honestly, when I thought of Anthony and Renee and Jasmine, I'm like, oh yeah. I like how they are as people.
Oh my gosh, I have a lot to jump onto that. But I want to point out, I was laughing when you said about Anthony because it made me think like you're in this like long relationship and now you're thinking like, do I like him though? Or do I just love him because I've been, with him for 6 years and it's like, do I like. But I love.
Yeah, you have to think like that though, because people will be with somebody for 10 years and think that it's too late to leave. Do not stay with somebody just because you're with them for 15 years. If you feel sad or they don't treat you well, leave. You're not committed. Before you get into that, that's something that really irks me is when people think that they have to stay friends or stay in a relationship with someone just because they've been with them for so long. Like, if you think you wasted 10 years of your life and you're like, I don't want to just end this because I've already invested 10 years. Girl, you have 40 years left of life. So you're going to just put that down the drain too?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. That is so true. Because I feel like people often think like, that part, like I've already invested too much time or like, well, they were so special to me in the beginning, but it's like, no, like life is life. And like, if they're not treating you well or they're not on the same wavelength as you, like there truly is no reason to have that person around anymore. But what I was going to comment, like, yeah, it's just so many thoughts in my head. I really love this message. I think it's true. Like it is something to think about. Oftentimes, let's start off with the love. You're right. Sometimes you love people because it's commitment, right? Like you have to love, or you're told like these are your uncles and your aunts and your cousins and like you have to love, like we're family, like love. But it is true, like, okay, as you get older, you really start to think like, but I do love them because I was raised and told to do that. And because, they came to my birthday when I was 2 and like they used to babysit me or, they buy me Christmas presents. I'm like, yeah, like love. But it is true. Like, but what else is holding me there? Like, what can I go on a coffee date with this person? Can I grab my tia and go sit down at a coffee shop and like sit there for hours? Like, if the answer is no, if there's no similarity to talk about or, you wouldn't even enjoy that one-on-one time. Maybe you love that person because, well, the tia and the tío and like the grandma and like everyone's around. So it's like, oh, okay, well, it's like I'm just with family. But like if you're like on one-on-one, like do you like them in that way? Like can you do that? And I think that goes with every relationship, like you said, like in your life. Friendships, we talk about this a lot. And I always talk about this like personally because I've gone through it, right? Where I have a lot of friends that to this day, I love them. I love my friendship phase when I was in my sorority. I love my friendship phase when I was in high school. I love my friendship phase when I was in college. I loved my friendship phase with even a friend that I just lost it's about to be a year ago since I lost my relationship with that friend. And I will always have love for them because they were such good people and such good friends to me in those chapters in my life. But it ultimately came down to just because I love them doesn't mean I have to keep them around still, right? Like life happens, mentalities change, where you're at in life changes, right? When you get into a relationship, like in my case, things like that change. The respect that you have or the way you see respect, that can change as you get older. And you're right. Like I just not that I don't like them. I don't know. It's kind of hard. But yeah, like I love them, but I necessarily maybe don't
like their character, or like how they're moving, or like how they're speaking to you. Right. Because in the end of the day, like, for instance, an example like that friend, you didn't like how they were acting.
Yeah.
That's not something you align with.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have love for them and you love them, but do I like you? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's probably best to just, you know, go your separate ways. Yeah, I wish you love. Yeah.
From afar.
But from afar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with all of that. It just really makes you think of like you said, those relationships around you. And I think it also, this is a good message, like Marilyn said, to really think about the people right now in your life. And like, I feel like it kind of ties into what I talked about in one of the episodes before. Like, part of the like you said, is how do they speak to me? What is their character like? What do they do? But I want to also challenge you guys to go back to that episode if you haven't already, because I'm really much on this thing, this word right now. Do they respect you? Because we talked about in that episode that respect goes above love, right? And so that's also really something to pay attention to, and that kind of ties in with the like I may love you because like you said, I've been with you for years and you're my boyfriend or you're my girlfriend. Or I may love you because, you're my aunt. Like, of course I love you. But if they've disrespected you, then that's that's not a like. That's not even love. Mm-hmm. But on your end, you can at least know, like, even though you clearly don't like nor love me because of how you're treating me, I still love you. I just don't like you. So we're just going to remove myself away from this and push you away. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, just really, really good thing to think about and kind of see that difference. You're right. The love and the like.
Yeah, I'm definitely moving different. After she said that, I was really taken aback. I was like, huh. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just made me think differently because I just started thinking about all the people in my life. I'm like, do I like them? Mm-hmm. I started questioning it. Mm-hmm. And I was realizing there are people in my life that I say I love you. And I'm like, I actually don't like you at all. I know that sounds crazy. And I love you. And I genuinely do. I just don't like you at all. Mm-hmm. I don't like how you're a liar. Mm-hmm. I don't like how you put me down. I don't like how you speak on my name when I'm not around. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's crazy.
We talked about this off before we jumped here on the podcast. I don't like that you don't want to develop.
Damn.
Like,
that's crazy.
I don't like that I'm on this wavelength of like, let's do better, let's grow. Mm-hmm. And yes, you buy me gifts for my birthday. And yes, you go to coffee dates with me. And yes, we hang out all the time. I don't like that you are so comfortable working the same 9 to 5 that you're not happy in. Mm-hmm. And that you complain
or in the same relationship that you're not happy in. We're like 7 years later, you're still with the person.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, the same problems. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of, damn, you don't even love yourself.
Right.
Like, right. I don't like that. I don't like that you don't love yourself enough to be better.
Mm-hmm. Because I see that in you.
Yeah.
And if you don't see that,
what could I do?
Then I love you. And
yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Damn, you really hit a point there. No, that's true. That is so true. Yeah, I forgot we were talking about that, but very true. My goodness. Yeah. I love this message. Something to think about in your life, something to ponder on. Think of all the people in your life, especially family, but friends also. It depends. Everyone's different. But at least for me, those are the people, my family is the people that I was told to love. But some people, like, it could be their friends or their partner that they're told, like, that's their only one, that's all they have. No. Mm-hmm. You create your relationships around you. Like, you can pick and choose. Doesn't matter what category.
Right. And totally don't even worry about the thing that connects you guys, right? I'm even thinking about like our listeners, maybe if you guys are like in middle school or high school, I think it's so easy to just be around people that are because they're on your same team or because you're in the same class together. And, I feel like even like as you're young, the word love is so thrown around, right? Like, Illy, or I love you, or like, oh, we've gone through PE together, so I love you for that, And yes, you love them, but do you like them? That's another like age gap that I wanted to like point out and say, because I know like me personally, like one of my closest friends who I thought would always be my friend, I realized like, yes, I love her, but I always loved her because we were just together. Like what glued us was school. And like, but at the end of the day, like I sat down and like you said, like, but do I like the conversations we're having? Like, do I need to have a conversation about gossip and like this type of, conversation? No, I don't really like that.
Yeah, and something else that's important, especially for teenagers, but this is for everybody, that just because you may realize that you don't like somebody doesn't mean that you should be disrespectful to them or treat them any differently. Like, you just move differently, like silently, for instance. Like, if you actually don't like how they are, if you're like, oh yeah, they always somehow, like, my secrets always get out there, like, you just start realizing tendencies within a person, like, move quietly. Don't make it obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is for your self-realization. This isn't for you to tell other people, like, I love you, but I don't like you. Like, don't tell people that.
That's a good one.
Unless it's a breakup, like, you can tell them, like, straight up, like, this is the reason why I'm leaving you. But, like, yeah, don't move in a way where you're trying to hurt people, because that's just for you to know. You move silently, and that's why I said it's for everybody, but especially teenagers, because teenagers are just so sassy, and they're just so, like, they love the drama, they love being in the mix. So, like, we promise you it's better to move quietly. It's better just to always kill them with kindness. That's always what I used to say in high school. Kill them with kindness, even though it may be hard. It's always what's best, because you just never know where you're going to meet that person again. But as an adult, it's just best just to... Yeah.
Definitely self-reflection, and definitely, like we always say and what this podcast stands for, wish them love.
Wish them love,
so, no negativity here ever.
No, yeah. Just self-reflection.
Yes.
But thank you so much for listening to this episode. Comment down below if you love pumpkin spice, and tell us your drink order if you have one. We'd love to try it out.
Absolutely. And again, if you haven't already, make sure to follow us on our social media platforms at Wish You Love Pod. And above all else,
we wish you love. Bye, friends.